Coming up on the Girls Group Chat podcast.
Your grandma's here beside me and she wants to know why you burned the dog.
People getting refunds here.
And are you in a bath like water?
Can we just acknowledge as well today? Oh, wait.
I feel sick even saying that. Welcome to the Girls Group Chat podcast with me, Olivia,
Me, Diona.
Me, Jordan.
and me, Shannon.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode with your four best friends.
Aww.
And if you didn't know, we have our very own Patreon, patreon.com/the Girls Group Chat podcast, where every week you'll get a bonus episode to throw down your throat. And you'll also get lots of bonus content, stuff like recently what was posted was the stuff that happens just before we
hit
record,
which is
Yeah.
always hilarious.
which 2 seconds ago there were some hot takes that might be in the next installment of that. Loads of bonus content, extra episode every week, early access to event tickets, and also you will get
The forums.
access to our community forums.
Yep.
GGC Mums, GGC Health and Beauty, GGC New Besties, and GGC Advice.
And it's literally £1 a week.
£1 a week. See you there.
Yes. Can we just acknowledge as well today? Oh, wait.
Is it? You're like, what date is it?
No, wait.
This is
We've acknowledged, or we've announced
Yes!
something, right?
we have announced something.
Yeah, we have
Jingle
announced
bell,
something.
jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell. Wait, we'll get taken down if we keep singing. Stop it.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, we didn't pay for that song.
What's the big news, Jordan?
We are doing a live podcast, our live Christmas show at the freaking
Waterfront
Waterfront Hall.
Hall.
Oh my God. So
I'm going to be sick. I feel sick even saying that.
It's our very first live podcast, and we have went big.
we've
What's wrong with us?
Like,
No,
so
that's
many
actually
people-
psychotic. Like,
No, I
there's
know.
actually something wrong with us.
Lots of people have asked us when are you doing a live podcast, and quite a lot of venues stuff have reached out to us, and do you want to be in the mad bitch? And she was like, I think we just go straight to the waterfront. I don't think we do anything smaller. We go straight to the big one.
I was like, straight on, no kissing.
And we're like, okay, so yeah, it's happening.
So
And do you know what's
please
ideal
come.
is it's a Friday night. So do you know in like the run up to Christmas where you're having a nightmare organising your Christmas night out with your gal pals? We've taken care of that for you because we're so nice. So please come. It's gonna be
It's going to be
friggin'
so much fun.
so much fun.
If you happen to be listening to this before June the 13th, you can only access those tickets on our Patreon. They're on pre-sale on our Patreon. If you're on there, congratulations for being the smartest person you know. You can get access and buy tickets
What
to
a
our
brilliant day to release tickets.
show.
Friday the 13th.
Exactly.
Oh, what could go wrong?
If it's
Love
after
that
the
for us.
13th of June, congratulations, they're on general sale. Go nab them.
So there we go. Yeah, I'm I'm so excited for it. I'm terrified,
I'm
but to be
scared.
fair, the scariest part is over, where we had to learn that bit of dance routine for
Yeah.
the trailer, because I am not a dancer.
No.
Well, it's getting to dress up in Santa costumes in
May.
It was a bit like
May,
when we
June,
did the
whatever it
Disney
is, it's like, yeah.
costumes, and you said that Sean had seen you in the Simba outfit with no context. Ben arrived home and I was trying on like a skimpy little Mrs. Claus dress, and I think he was like, "Oh, it really is Christmas." I was like, "Oh, eyes up, absolutely not." But I quite like dressing up as a wee Santa in the summer.
sexy one, or just, oh no, like just for like
Oh, not in general. I liked
Yeah.
on this occasion. It's not a hobby of mine.
sexy summer Santa.
Yeah. Oh, did you never do that? No, sexy summer Santa.
I retired a sexy summer Santa character long ago.
Yeah, no, same chick. But yeah, very excited to share the stage with you guys.
It's going to be an absolute ball. We've loads of cracker things planned. We're not going. It's going to be way bigger, way better than any normal episode that you listen to on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast.
It is
going
a
to
show,
It's going to be
like-
big.
Which is insane because this is just such a good podcast. You're like, how can it get it any better?
It's going to be insane. I can't believe Mariah Carey is going to actually come. Oh, did I just say
Oh
that?
my God, did you just
Did I just leak information?
release?
What, actual Mariah Carey?
You know, I went viral with a Mariah Carey Christmas song, right?
What?
Yes,
This
I do
was-
know this.
Nothing
was-
that
I
you
don't-
say surprises me anymore. Like, you come
Rewrote
out
the
with
lyrics.
I rewrote the lyrics to All I Want for Christmas Is You to All I Want for Christmas Is Food, and this was pre-Instagram, pre-TikTok. I put it on Facebook for a wee lol from my fans, for my
Yeah.
fam and friends, and overnight. Lad Bible picked it up. Now back in the day, they didn't ask permission. Like, can we have your video?
Yeah.
They just whapped it up, and I woke up to about 3,500 notifications that had like 10 million views, and all the comments of the day, some good, some bad. A lot of them like referencing, oh, but she's got a nice pair of Christmas puddings and all that sort of shit. But oh
What a
my
fucking
goodness,
gimp,
it
whoever
was
said
like
that.
viral before viral was a thing. I
my
loved
God.
my life. I was on the front page of the Belfast Telegraph.
You must be knackered
You're a
the amount
veteran.
of times you've been hanging
Honestly,
out
they
on
could
that front
cut me a
page.
check,
I wonder,
swear.
like, when news is slow, they're like, what's Jordan doing these days?
Honestly, let's get
Call
on
her
our
up.
Facebook.
What she had.
I swear. And they did like a wee caricature of it and everything of like this woman running a Weight Watchers centre and all the people coming in to get weighed are going like, all I want for Christmas is food. And she's like, that wee girl Jordan Humphries is a lot to answer for.
Oh,
and my
that's
mum
so
got me
cool.
the original artwork framed and stuff. So
Oh my god, that's great.
yeah, so that was my little viral
Jordan is the
moment.
cat with 9 lives.
Oh,
Honestly,
you are.
literally.
A lot of like there's so much you don't know.
Yeah. She also grooms like a cat. It's weird.
I
Licks
remember
herself.
dropping in the group chat like a couple of weeks ago that I was a minister for a while as well.
Oh my God.
Oh my god, we
You
forgot
have
about
not.
this.
You have not told us any more information.
There's no blaspheme around me.
I'm confused at, this is the Catholic in me. What is a minister?
A priest,
so,
but they're allowed to do more.
Like what? You're a
Well,
priest.
they're allowed to get married.
I am not a priest.
They're allowed to get married.
Did you not see her through the window when you were on that date?
You shocked me out of the parish. So
It
it's
is,
like
it's
the
like
leader of a Protestant church. Essentially, you
Protestant.
stand up and
Yeah,
do
it's
the
like a
sermon.
priest,
and
but Protestant.
Yeah.
You were doing the sermon.
so I was doing youth ministry, so like for young people. So they would do like a youth church on a Sunday night, and I think a Sunday morning. I can't remember, it was so long ago. And I would tell the youth about God and
That's
stuff.
amazing.
It's so random and so strange. But yeah, you know Catherine Walker, who's Miss NI and she's on
Yeah.
Cool FM. She was one of my flock. She was like one of my kids.
What
who
am I
I
talking about?
taught
No, I
in
was
church.
pissing when you said it was called a flock. I was like, that is so Jesus.
Is that the
coded.
term?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just like using
'Cause
that
you were
word
the
instead
shepherd.
of like one
I
of
was,
my.
I was the shepherd and she was the sheep.
Love
Yeah. So that's why she's such a holy gal now.
What? Why did you break free?
Well, I actually just don't really believe in religion in general.
Did you then?
I don't know. I'm
Netflix
very
specials.
like, I'll get an idea about something and be like, that's what I'm going to do. And don't
Yeah.
really think
But
about
do you not
it.
think like Protestant upbringing, right? I went to Sunday school. I went to GB. I went to Sunday school until the point I was asking to leave Sunday school. My mum was saying no, so I had to get myself kicked out of Sunday school.
Right.
It's just what you do. Like, it doesn't, my family weren't particularly, my granny was, but my mum wasn't particularly religious. It's just what you do. Went to a Friday night youth club.
Yes.
Like, all
Very-
in
like
the
the
church.
Sunday
There
school
doesn't seem-
generation.
There doesn't seem to be that sort of things catered for the Catholics.
Oh jeez, no, you just got thrown out in the road and
yeah.
have a good time.
Yeah, with your wee crucifix.
We
on.
had summer
Off you go.
schemes and everything.
Summer scheme, holiday
Yeah.
Bible club. Yeah,
Holiday
but
Bible club.
Jeez,
Sunday
the
school looks
Protestant, the Protestant guys are really trying to make an impression on you, aren't they? They
Fair
want you
play
to
to
stay for life.
It's like a wee community thing.
lovely.
It
almost,
is.
with a bit
And
of
like
Bible
the thing
sprinkled
with
in.
like GB and stuff.
Yeah.
The Girls Brigade, have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like brownies, but like godly.
Yeah.
You don't do a lot of God stuff. You do like a wee meeting for about 15 minutes and then you're
I-
baiting about
See,
going
I
mad.
think that's crafty as fuck.
Yeah.
I think
love
that's so crafty because I've brought my kids to like play groups, but they're maybe in like a church of something or like, you know,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
church hall or something, and like somebody will tell me, "Go, the kids all get just they play games, there's biscuits and all, and it's like £1, and I'm all bargain." You arrive and then they're like having crack, they're playing in a wee ball pit, they're running around laughing, there's jammy dodgers, and all 45 minutes into it, 15 minutes after all, let's get in circle time for songs. I'm like, see ya, because they're gonna start doing religious songs.
stuff. But one of my friends is really religious, and we met on a Sunday, and she was like, "Oh, I'm just out of church there." No, is that what you call it? Church, yeah. And she was like, "Yeah, there was donuts and like hot dogs and all." I was like, "Fucking bring me next time."
yeah.
I know.
What a
Jesus is
spread.
fasting. That's why we're not allowed in. We'll go to Catholic church.
I remember
we
like
get it
Sunday
between you.
school, they used to do like trophies and stuff if you learned verses. When I was younger, I was like, okay, I was an ass like in all aspects, school, Sunday, whatever it was. If there was a trophy to be won, I was going to give it my all.
Miss Moat
But-
Festival.
When I wanted to stop doing Sunday school and was being forced to go, this one got kicked out and stuff, they were doing a meeting, or your verses, you'd go into a room and like speak to someone and tell your verses you learned. At this stage I didn't care, so I went in the room. I knew the woman, she was mates my nanny. I was like, it was with my cousin too. Didn't learn them, and they're like, well,
You
if
bad
you say something, you get a free packet of wine gums.
Oh,
So me and her just started talking. So we were like, just say something. We left their wine gums and we were like, we
love
love you, Jesus.
You were the best
love-
at being bad. Did
I
you
love
get
a
trophy
light
for
bribe.
it?
But you remember, I think that is what religion
I'm
is
open to a
based on.
bribe.
Bribery. Do you know what I mean? They're like, if you do this, you'll go to heaven. If you don't, you will die in the depths of hell. You'll be in fiery pits forever. Like, do you not remember? Well, you won't because we went to Catholic schools, but you would have been taken to like confession. You had to go do confession, which is just the silliest thing for kids to do. Because I remember me and all my classmates lined up for confession. You're like 8, 9, 10 years old, and you're literally sitting there teaching yourself lines to say when you go in, and it's always, I hit my sister, I lied to my mummy, and I farted on my brother, and it's just the stupidest things. And could you imagine the priest sitting in there, and they do a whole classroom of kids on like a Wednesday afternoon, and he's just sat there listening to 26 8-year-olds talking about punching their sisters.
Yeah, and you're like 3 Hail Marys. You're like,
He's not even in there. It's just a tape playing.
And is that you?
Yeah.
Is that all things forgiven? We are so excited that Prize Guy is a proud sponsor of the Girls Group Chat podcast. If you haven't heard about That Prize Guy competitions, come out from under your rock.
The current competitions are 70k cash, 50k cash, and 40k cash. They give these away almost every single day, and they give away cars such as Land Rover Defenders, Audis Q3, and the most unreal holiday destinations like Mexico.
And you can get in touch for like wedding favours and private event competitions. There's loads of instant win competitions on the website, so you literally enter, and if you the money goes into your account there and then, which is obviously class. And you might even join loads of people who are now millionaires thanks to That Prize Guy.
Absolutely class. So go give yourself a chance to win. Head to thatprizeguy.co.uk, and please remember to play responsibly. Keep it fun.
But all things forgiven, but also it's always a lie. You're never going like, you're not going to
You
walk
come
in.
next week and go, by the way, my confession this week is I lied last week.
Yeah, nobody's going to confession like ever and going here. I need to tell you something, right? I was working at a bank and I took home a lot of that cash. And did you have you heard of the Northern Bank robbery? That was me. Like, no one's doing that. They're going in and making stuff up.
If someone goes in and confesses a crime,
They have to tell the police.
oh, okay.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do you know
They're
that?
obligated.
Though? Are they though?
Oh, yeah.
If any priests are listening, let us know. Is this fact?
I think, no, they have to
Do
tell.
therapists have to do that?
I'm pretty sure they do. Well, it depends if you go in and be like, I killed someone, I think they have to
I know.
let someone
no,
know.
I don't
Or maybe
think
they
so.
don't.
Now
do
I'm
they?
basing this solely on a film I watched recently, but I don't think they do have to tell.
Film,
really?
the therapist.
I can't remember what it was. We need to do a
I
check
think
on this.
priests maybe say, if you're going to tell me something like this, I have to let you know that I have to tell someone.
Guys, do you know where I'm
Maybe.
going to find out?
I remember
ChatGPT.
someone told me before the reason that, again, come from a Protestant background, take this pinch of salt, the reason that priests like came up with the idea of confessions just so that they knew everyone's business.
They wanted the goss.
No, well, not wanted the goss. They wanted to bribe you to keep you indoctrinated, so that you would come every single Sunday and give them all of your money.
I should have been a priest, not a minister.
Yeah.
To preface, that is an opinion.
Well,
That
of
is not
course.
fact.
Oh, of course, but that's what saying that's what a lot of people think.
Before we get cancelled,
A lot of people do.
I just think we should
that.
maybe get off religion in general.
I know, like,
And therapists are bound by confidentiality, which means they
they don't
generally
have to tell
do
people.
not report crimes. No, I think it's up to yourself. If you think the welfare of a child is at stake, you would report
yeah,
it.
I think-
you know. But if someone comes in and if someone went into the therapist and was like, "It was me who done the Northern Bank," they would just be like, "I'm not charging you enough."
Amazing.
yeah. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
because how would you know if they're lying or not? Maybe they just make it up.
Exactly. Or they're not. Lots of people are in therapy because they're not well. They might say things that aren't true.
Yeah.
Correctly.
It's a slippery slope here,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
On the
Not to
topic of-
offend anyone, by the way.
On the topic of therapy, you have spoken in the last episode about going to therapy before.
Oh
and
yeah,
how that is like.
I'm a big therapy fan. I loved going to therapy, and like my therapist made me realize a lot of things like I thought was the problem when I went, and she made me realize it was actually a number of different things. And I was like, that's so interesting. I felt like I learned so much about myself. I must actually go back some of these days.
To be fair, I'll say I've done it, but it is very, very pricey.
It is so expensive.
It's
But
ridiculous,
how do you
and
put it?
that's
You can't
why
put
I
price on your
stopped.
mental health. Like,
I
You can't,
but
but
you
is it-
can't. But then
Well, they do.
I felt my opinion on it is whenever I was really down, I was like, it did help me. But then when I started feeling good again, I was like, that money's better in my pocket each week, and that's not right because it should be more accessible.
you can get free
do you
therapy
know?
though.
Yeah, but it's
through your
very
doctor.
difficult.
You
And
can.
then it's like you can go through it. And my personal opinion is not every therapist is going to work for every person.
Oh no, yeah,
So
definitely. Like
you
need to
don't,
find
you're not
your-
able to
your
go, I don't
person.
like you, let me try someone else. It's a free
Yeah.
service. Tough luck.
We are delighted to introduce our sponsor, Iconic Bronze. If you haven't heard of Iconic Bronze, it is a tanning and cosmetics brand founded right here in Ireland by the lovely Linda Stinston.
I've been a brand ambassador for Iconic Bronze for 7 years. I actually started using their products when I was in uni, and myself and Emma Kearney created a collection over 3 years ago now, and these are actually my lashes.
Fancy.
The
I know, they're
products
unreal.
are
Their products
fab.
are class.
I have to say, I have only started using this recently. Their instant body makeup, incredible.
That sort of thing's a lifesaver.
Incredible,
on a night out.
lifesaver.
I'm a big fan of a body makeup. All their products are luxurious without the hefty price tag. They're also vegan and PETA approved and award winning as well. So you can't really go wrong with Iconic Bronze.
And we have all of our listeners a 30% off code. If you use the code Girls Group Chat on the site, 30% off all of the goods at iconicbronze.ie. Woohoo! What do you think was the groundwork that really worked when you went to therapy that helped you become a happier person?
I was there a moment.
I remember telling her like, and she was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I'm so like I'm fine, a person." Like I'm like, "Oh no, everything's grand." I was like, but this happened, or whatever. And then I was just telling her stuff, and she turned around to me and she was like, "That's actually like really hard. Like that's a lot to be carrying." And I was like, "Fuck, that is kind of bad," And then it makes you think.
Makes you reflect.
Validates things.
And she was like, "What are you doing to like balance those things out and whatever else?" So we did loads of stuff, but I think I maybe did like a couple of months in therapy, and then I felt like she was like to me, like, "I don't think you need to be coming as much," which I appreciated because I probably would have just kept on going. And then that really, really helped me. But when I was like in the depths of like really, really like low mental health, like I used to always go to psychics.
Okay.
I was obsessed with psychics.
I love this.
Right, I there was one time.
So would I. Let's do it.
Olivia
Patreon
was
exclusive.
spending her money in psychics when it should have been on therapy.
No, 100%. Like I used to go to this girl in Portadown, and she was like to me, talking shite anyway, and she was all, "You have 2 dogs at home." I was like, No, I just have 1 dog, Lucy, best dog ever. I was like, "No, we've only got 1 dog." She was like, "I can see 2 dogs here," and I was like, "No, pretty sure we've only got 1 dog." And I was like, "Fuck me, what a waste of money! This woman is useless." And she was like, "I can describe a dog," and I was like, "Oh my god, that's my grandma's dog that's dead, right?" So I was like, "Oh my god," and she was like, "Your grandma's here beside me, and she wants to know why you burned the dog." And we got the dog cremated.
Oh, and the granny would probably not understand.
The psychic probably thought we set the dog on fire. Like I was looking at her being like, "We didn't set the dog on fire. Like he was cremated, so his ashes are in our house."
Oh my
So
god.
then my mom was like, "Oh my god, we have like the ghost of Shep in our house."
Oh my god.
So every time like my own dog like looks at the wall and we're like, "Fuck is the dog?" So yeah, I don't know where she got that, but she said mad shit to me. She actually was the one that told me that I was going to be in menopause, right? Because that's the last time I ever went to her.
Maybe this was money better spent than the
Here,
therapist.
She was amazing.
I need a
I'll never go
scout number.
back. I'll never go back because like
too much to deal with.
I do think that you only go when you're in like that. You're looking for something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you're in a bad place. But I remember going, and it was around the time like I was going through like I had my surgery and I was in a lot of pain, and like pain consumed my life. And she didn't mention pain once in the whole session. I was like, that's so weird. She never mentioned. I had so many ovary problems at the time. Still fucking do. And she was like, didn't mention it. But they'll not mention something bad unless you ask.
Okay.
Right. So she was like, if you have anything you want to ask me. And I was like, oh.
Sorry, did they not mention something bad unless you ask because they don't want it to go in a negative direction, but they're aware?
They don't want, I don't think they're allowed to like tell you.
Make bad shit. Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're not to make you feel sad.
I think it depends on obviously the psychic. I don't even know if I believe in it, but she was like to me, have you any questions? And I was like, yeah, like, you didn't mention about my health. And at that time it was like such a big thing in my life. I was never out of the doctors. And she was like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but I can see you having cancer treatment. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get cancer. And I left in like inconsolable. I was like, I went home and I was like to my mummy, like that psychic told me that I'm going to get cancer and stuff. And my mummy was like, you're not going back there. Like that was wild. So like 2 weeks later I went to my doctor and she was like, we're going to put you in menopause. I was told I was going to go into menopause overnight. And I was like,
Holy
forgot about the psychic, right? And when I was in the pharmacy getting my medication, the pharmacist was like, just to let you know, like this is a cancer treatment that's used on women with endometriosis to put you into menopause. It's a prostate cancer medication. And I was like, oh my God. Whoa. Right? So obviously she didn't know that it was.
Yes, she could
not
just see cancer treatment.
Yep. So after that I was like, I'm never going back to a psychic, because like those 2 weeks I literally was like writing out a bucket list.
What an interesting way to even phrase it. Like to say, I can see you getting a cancer treatment. Like she
Which is
maybe
true.
didn't even understand.
It wasn't factually incorrect.
Yeah.
Like my
it wasn't
treatment
you're going to
was-
get treated for cancer. It's a cancer treatment.
It's a treatment that treats men with prostate cancer, but I was taking it for something else, obviously. But it
So
was
you were put
wild.
into menopause overnight.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I was told on the Friday and I was in menopause by the Tuesday.
What?
Full blown menopause,
I
yeah.
don't think I knew that, Olivia.
Did you not?
I knew obviously you'd been through it, but I don't think I knew it was that quick a succession.
Yeah, so I had endometriosis surgery in the January, and I had severe pain afterwards. Like, I don't think I ever fully recovered. Like, I can't explain the pain that I was in after that surgery. Like, it was awful. And I
Due
couldn't
to
work.
the surgery or due to the endometriosis?
Endometriosis. So they removed all the endometriosis, and then it grew back like extremely
Fucking
fast,
hell.
and I got a massive cyst on my ovary. And because I'd had surgery so recently, my doctor was like, the only option we have is to put you into menopause and take away all of your hormones, so this thing stops growing. So endo was fueled by its own hormone.
Yeah.
And I was put into menopause. Then she told me this, and I just came out to the car to my mummy, and I just sat there like blank. And mummy was like, "What'd she tell you?" And I was like, "I'm going into menopause." Wow. So she put me into menopause that week. I was in menopause for 9 months, and then they put you in, they inject you with that medication, and all your hormones go. So I had
Oh
no
my
hormones
God.
for 9 months, which I actually loved because I was pure numb. Like
That's
I
when
had
you were doing your dating.
that was in my dating area.
So
I had no rationale. I had no I didn't feel extreme anything,
Wow.
because your hormones obviously,
that's
especially
quite
in women,
dangerous though, as
it was
well.
crazy. And I think like for a lot of women it can go very successfully, and I would never tell anybody not to do it. I just didn't have a good experience with it.
So
Symptom wise.
So were you put into a more extreme version of menopause because it was brought on chemically
Yeah,
than
so-
somebody would normally experience, do you think?
Yeah, so obviously not with, say, all of us women, like we will go to perimenopause first, and then we will go into full menopause.
Yeah.
It obviously takes it can take up to 15 years for some women. Some women it takes less time, but for me, obviously it happened there and then that day. So I got all of my symptoms
is
overnight.
Crazy.
Crazy. But I was 24. So I always say I always talk about myself before menopause and after menopause, because it chemically changed my brain.
Wow.
My brain wasn't, because when I came back into normal after the menopause, you're back to puberty again. I was having mood swings because my hormones were coming back for the first time from nothing. I was mood swings. I was paranoid. I was 14 again. I would fly off the handle at my ma.
Wow.
You know the way when you're 14 and your ma said something, you're like, no, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I would be like that. I was like that for 2 months after I went back.
At the time, were you aware this is because of that? You know, as a teenager, you're not going, it's my hormones. You
You were more aware of it, I think, because I kind of knew that it was going to happen because I'd kind of done my research. But at the time, you just feel paranoid. You feel anxious, and I'm not really an anxious person. And I was riddled with anxiety.
How do you feel on reflection? Is this something that I can imagine if I was in your position, I would feel wronged by the universe that happened to me.
I don't feel like that. I have so much respect for my body for carrying me through that time. And I feel so much gratitude to the body that houses me that we got through it.
Oof,
you know,
love
and
that.
Yeah.
even my hair and stuff. Obviously I've lost my hair and I wear wigs, and I just think when you go through that, anything else is easy.
Yeah.
And menopause was not easy. It was one of the hardest times of my life, and it mentally was so hard. But I just think if I looked at things that way, I would never be happy, because there's been so many different things that has happened
Such
to
a
me
good
that-
outlook to have, though.
that I
So
would be upset
good.
all the time.
Yeah, because you could actually quite deservedly be walking around with a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, but I do think for anyone listening that's going through this, we are being failed so badly by the NHS and our
100%.
health system, and any women going through it's not just endometriosis, so many things, and we've been trying to do so much work outside of behind the scenes to get more awareness, but
Amy
getting there,
Schumer has endometriosis, you know, the comedian
Yeah,
Amy
yeah.
Schumer, and she talks about, in her stand-up, she talks about how she got diagnosed, and she was after being so unwell, and she was like, oh, thank God, great, we now know what it is. What's the plan?
There's
And
no
they were like,
plan.
oh, there's no plan, because we don't do enough scientific medical research on women.
Yep.
Because the reason we don't have enough research on this is because men don't get endometriosis.
yeah,
And all of our scientific research is on, do you know, most of the time they only perform research on male rats as well,
it's wild.
because the reproductive organs are apparently in the road of their results being consistent. Like,
Yeah.
no, but that's what you need to be fucking
Yeah.
studying. So she makes a joke in her stand-up where she's like, you know, a man can get like a flavoured, nice, chewy Viagra because swallowing pills is difficult sometimes. And yeah, a woman, there's fuck all for endometriosis to try and help or you know, cure,
At
prevent.
the moment, for endometriosis, the only way you can get diagnosed is through surgery. You have to have surgery
To get diagnosed.
to get diagnosed. It takes like an average of 8.5 years to get your diagnosis alone, and that's like, if you're lucky, you're 8 years. A lot of women, I speak to a lot of women that's maybe 10, 15 years, and then your only
Waiting
treatment.
lists even just to get seen by a gynecologist.
Oh, it's
you could
like
be waiting
4
a couple
or
of
5
years.
easy. And then like my GP told me to go private. Like my GP said that to me, and I was like, oh, fuck me, like. But only treatments are menopause, the pill, or hysterectomy. That's it.
Bloody hell. Sorry, I feel so ignorant. This is not something I know,
know
about
about.
or I'm educated on.
Yeah.
And
Like
that's blown my mind.
1 in 9 women have endometriosis, and like
That high?
oh why more people have endometriosis than they do have asthma.
But do you think a lot of women don't realise they have it because we just grin and bear it and get
Yes,
on with
yeah,
things? If you have
110%.
excruciating period
So
cramps,
it is,
you
you're
go to
just putting
school. If
it-
you're bleeding through your fucking
Yeah.
skirt, you
Yeah.
still do
You mentioned
PE,
it
all
to me
that there.
before, whenever I spoke about, I was talking to you about whenever I was younger, my periods were shocking, and I used to pass out with pain.
Same.
Because that's
I-
not normal.
I went into got brought up to the Ulster, and a doctor just like touched my belly. I was like 14 and was like possible endometriosis, and my mum was like, get the fuck out of this room.
Yeah.
How dare you? She doesn't know what that means.
Yeah.
She doesn't. And she ended up getting a different doctor to come in, and then when I was referred to gynae at 14, it was like, well, she's not going to be looking to have kids, so pill.
Yeah.
And I was put on the pill from 14 up until I came off the pill last year.
It's mad, isn't it?
And not
That's
there was
terrible.
never a checkup done. There was never anything to be like,
Let's give your body a break.
should we
from
check
that.
to see if your periods are still as bad? How you know, should we investigate this? You're now in your 20s, and it was, you were like to me, did they never? And I was like, no.
And even
That was
also
it.
to get to a stage
That
where
was
they
it.
might be like, okay, maybe we should, if you have ever wanted to have children, maybe we should look into your fertility testing, and maybe
Yeah.
we might need to
It'll
change
be
what
the
hormones
only
you're on.
the only time they'll do that is if I go to have kids.
Yeah.
That's the only time that something will probably actually be looked at. But it is, you do, like, because when you said to me, I was like, oh, you just accept it. It's just like,
Yeah.
what's the point? If I go to them saying, you know, I never actually got checked what was going on there, they'd be like, oh, well, are you looking to have kids now? And if I say
Yeah.
no, it's like, bye.
I've taken multiple seizures, full blown, like shaking seizures off the back of period pain. And starting from when I was about 13, 14 as well. The first one I took was in a friend's house, and it was a few days before Halloween, and I was on the toilet, like probably like changing sanitary towel, whatever, and I was bleeding so heavily, I took a seizure and smashed my face on the sink in front of me, and it completely cut open my whole nose. And I remember that Halloween I dressed up as a Centurion, classic, and which is so weird because I was actually a schoolgirl, like bizarre. And I remember going home that night, maybe about 2 hours after the seizure, like, you know, pure white, drained, so weak from having taken a seizure. And my parents were like, have you been drinking? And I was like, no, I don't know what's happened, but I like blacked out. I took a seizure. I've smashed my face. And they just didn't. My mummy was like, oh, you get heavy periods. It's probably like, you know, nobody really understood what it was. And then it was the next month, I was in school. Same thing happened. I took a seizure in my HG class because I had such heavy period. And they had to ring an ambulance for me to go to hospital. Yeah. And I remember my mum being so upset in the hospital going, I can't believe that last month when you came home and took a seizure that we didn't realise it was like, because we just thought, we actually thought you were drinking.
Yeah,
You know, they didn't really know what it was. And then the very last seizure I took was the day before lockdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
it was
recently?
Mother's Day, like a couple of years ago. Yeah, but 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, that was my last one, and it was also really badly heavy period, and took a seizure in the middle
To
of the
me,
night.
that
and had to
does
go to hospital.
sound like, because did you not have winter over lockdown?
I had her after that.
So, but then is it not, you know, obviously you can go a while coincidentally.
Yeah.
So like you're saying, you know, with epilepsy, I do know that periods can influence epilepsy. Not that you're not sure if it is epilepsy or not. Your
So
seizures.
I was diagnosed with epilepsy,
were, yeah.
and I took epilepsy medication for maybe 10 years. But what happened? So anyway, I remember we were sitting in when I got diagnosed with epilepsy in the hospital, and the doctor was like, the neurologist that we were seeing was like, it's so hard to diagnose epilepsy because everyone's version of it is completely different, and it's like a spectrum. There's so many different types of epilepsy, and because all of my seizures, I could recount the few seconds before I would go into a seizure. I'm in my head, I would go, oh shit, I'm about to take a seizure, but I wouldn't have the energy to tell anybody in front of me. But the neurologist was like, that's actually quite rare. Most people just go into they don't know what's about to happen, you know. And even when I was taking the seizure, I would feel like I was trapped inside my body.
You were aware?
So I was inside my body going, help, like screaming help. And usually when I would come out of the seizure, Sean would say that I would just immediately start shouting help, because I had been shouting it in my head until eventually my mouth caught up.
Sleep paralysis almost.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that.
God.
And then, so when I was like 14 or 15, maybe 14, 15, sitting in the hospital, you know, with the neurologist when they diagnosed me. And basically what happened is my daddy said to the neurologist, this was your daughter. And he was like, we can't really like be 100% sure that's epilepsy. You know, you can get medicated for it. There's obviously side effects, or you cannot. We can wait and see what happens. At this stage, I'd maybe taken a handful of seizures. And my daddy goes to him, if this was your daughter sat here right now, what would you do? He goes, I would give her tablets today. And then that's what happened. So the reason I came off the tablets is because I applied for Britain and Ireland's Next Top Model.
Good reason.
And you had to have a clean bill of health.
And you were like, I'm
And I remember going to my doctor going, I haven't taken a seizure in about 2 years. Do you, like, and I recounted the conversation from the neurologist years ago. I thought, they said they weren't even sure back then. I thought, do you think I could just come off the tablets? And then we'll just like, and you can just write a letter going, she hasn't got epilepsy now because she's not on the tablets.
So
and that's what he did.
you risked seizures just for Elma
Just
Pearson
to
to turn around and say you're not her cup of tea?
Yes.
Does she have any idea? Like you're a medical marvel standing there in front of her.
I have sacrificed for that woman to tell
And then
me.
you didn't wear shorts for 15 years. Elma
I kn-
Pearson owes you a fucking apology.
I know, I'd rather have epilepsy than not wear shorts.
Oh my God. Here, you donned the shorts recently.
Did a lot of work on myself.
Did you find that quite healing? Putting the shorts on?
Yes, I did. I actually found it like quite a emotional process, which is so stupid, and I know that. But I felt like it was like I closed a chapter on my life. And also, I'm gonna fucking cry in every episode we do. You know? Oh my God. Only because
Let it out, girl.
it's always about my kids, because I'm trying to like show my daughter to love herself. Fucking hell, why am I always crying?
But
that
everything
is
makes
such
me
a-
cry.
Make me cry.
I'm
I'm
filled
not gonna
up.
cry.
That is such a big thing, because we talk
Yes.
about this all the time about, you know, like younger girls, they start believing what they say.
Yeah.
So I think it's massive respect for you for doing it for
Yeah.
that reason.
And can we say the pins are unbelievable?
Unbelievable.
Class legs. Like class legs.
I don't want to ever like, you know, show. I don't want my daughter to ever be like, Mommy, it's roasting outside. Why are you wearing jeans? You know, do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
just ever to even hear me have talked about, and I still haven't done work on it, and to like free the leg. So I just went for it one day. I went out and I went out on a trip to buy a pair of shorts, and I found a pair of denim shorts that were like boys shorts, where they're like not too short, but they're still, you know, they're normal shorts. Because it was we had that warm spell of weather recently. and
I
I was like,
remember it. Yeah,
what
that
am
was
I
nice.
it was remember that? And I was like, what am I doing? Went and bought the shorts, put them on me, made a video about it, posted online, accountability and all that. And it was funny because I was home all day until about 6 o'clock that evening. So it was like, you know, grand. And then I remember going to the shop. I'd gone to the garage to the shop, and I walked into the shop, and I had sort of forgot that I'd put shorts on that day.
Yeah.
And I walked into the shop and I went, immediately shit myself, as if I had walked into the shop in my jammies.
Aye.
I freaked out and I went, oh my God, I forgot I'm wearing
So
shorts.
foreign to you.
It was so weird for me. And I was like, I bet you, it's like that thing you see online where you put a cap on, you're like, everyone's going to know I don't normally wear caps.
Yeah.
And I was like that. I was, oh, they're all going to know I've got my legs out. And because I'm tall and I've got long legs, I'm like, my legs take up 98% of my body, which they don't. And then I'm in the shop looking around like,
Is anyone looking at you?
yeah,
But
do you know,
also,
like,
which is like something that women strive to have. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, women would
Long
kill
legs.
to have long legs.
I know.
but it's not even about what the legs look like. It's more just about feeling going. I you know, no matter what my legs look like, you're like, you should be able to just. It's warm
course you
outside
should.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So then I walked around the shop and I left, and I was all, no one even cared.
No, of course
Do you know
they
what I
don't.
mean?
But do you know what's so mad? Like a fella would think nothing of being taps off, walking down Botanic Avenue in the middle of Belfast on a sunny day. Like,
know.
regardless what he looks like, who he is, what age he is, the top's coming off, swung around the head, over the shoulder, and a can of harp. They
know.
don't give a flying fiddler's fuck.
And I love as well. Do you know when you look at wee kids and they have no sense of holding in their stomach?
I love
and
that.
they have their dimply wee bums, and
And their wee
just,
bellies are
their
out.
wee pop bellies, and it's the most. Like I remember looking. than my son recently, and his wee chubby wee thighs and his wee belly and all, and I was like, it is so beautiful. And I was like, at what stage did we decide
When
that
does it
wasn't
change?
beautiful
Yeah.
anymore?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At what age are you no longer allowed to be this wee chubby wee gorgeous wee thing, and when we
know.
start to see that as something that's unattractive, it's quite sad, isn't it?
It's whenever people use the term like, oh, they're losing their baby fat, whenever, and that's meant to be
stretch.
someone growing up. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
look, they're growing up, they're losing their baby fat, and you're like, why is that? Why is that a
Why
thing
is it a
commented
term?
on?
Yeah.
Do you know why is that?
I know.
And so I think, freeing the leg for me was like a big work on myself moment.
Yeah.
It was like, that's something that I healed that earlier trauma of like honestly 15 years I had never had my bare legs out.
And your dress for the event.
It's a short dress.
Yeah, when you tried it on, and even when you tried
Oh,
on
yous
the
have all
longer
picked your
ones.
dresses.
Yeah, me and Diona went together, and whenever you even tried on the longer ones, you were like, nah.
I
The
know.
short ones were the goat.
We started picking out dresses for the Sunday social, and I obviously went, and God love too, the what do you call the guy from Adorn?
Cherith.
Oh my God, amazing.
Amazing.
The most beautiful woman. And she was like, I got in like midi length dresses because you had spoken on the podcast about you not
Oh,
really
she is
wanting
a
to have,
darling.
oh my God,
Darling. I
most
love her.
beautiful mid length dresses. And Olivia was like, try on a short one. And I was like, oh, I don't know. She's like, we'll just try on a short one. And I did, and I was like, this is it.
We've
fucking
created a
amazing.
monster. She's going to
gorgeous.
come in here in a thong next week. I'm never putting the legs away again. Nor should you. I absolutely love that for you. I really do.
Yeah.
I really want to challenge myself for whenever we go on holiday. We're not going to wait till like November. We're going on like a real dream holiday for me.
Yes.
And I want to not obsess about how I look when I'm sitting down in my bikini. I am always the girl who sits and I have a towel over me, or I have to straight away put a t-shirt on, or like, or my bikini bottom sitting right. And it's so funny because I have never sat around a pool looking at people going,
Exactly.
belly,
Never.
100%.
thighs, cellulite. Never, ever, ever. But when it's me, I'm like, everyone thinks I don't look
Yeah.
perfect, and that's not okay. And
There'll
so
be a
quick to
whole-
cover myself.
There'll be a documentary on my cellulite after this.
I love that about
Literally.
a holiday though, because you look around, you see so many body types, so many different people, all walks of life, and you're like, fuck it, why do I care?
I
Why,
think
you
though,
know?
and I hate to blame social media for things, but I do think we see so many perfect bodies all the time, and I always get into my head, even though I'm
Stop
every
looking in the
single-
mirror.
No, thanks so much. But you know, like I'm proven wrong every time I go on holiday because it's not the case.
Yes.
But I have this thing in my head of like, I'm gonna get there. Everyone around the pool's gonna be a supermodel. Everyone's gonna look fucking incredible. I better as well. And I can't tell you the amount of things over the years, the crash diets I've done, the intense workouts, 6 weeks running up to a holiday, the bloody laser treatments and all this silly stuff, down to getting my nails done, waxed to perfection, hair extensions in, and then you get there and go, oh, everyone lying around this pool is actually just a normal person.
I know.
Crazy.
Literally
Imagine
just
that, because you just
chilling.
so rarely see normal people sitting with a belly roll or a thigh out. So my thing is like, I will still, like, I'm actually really enjoying working out again. I've like found a new workout that I love and I feel really good just treating my body a
Moving.
little bit better, moving. But my goal is, right, regardless if you feel like a supermodel going away or if you're feeling maybe not in your best shape ever, I want to sit at the pool, not worry about where my bikini bottoms are sitting, preferably covering me, probably not down around my ankles or anything, but I want to free my belly
Yeah.
and have a good
have a
fucking
roll
time.
and not be like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable.
And
Because
yeah.
men do it. Men, like my husband doesn't think twice about what he looks like on the beach. And he
It's
looks amazing,
wasted
obviously,
energy
but
though, do you not
It
think?
is, of course it is.
Like,
But I've ruined holidays on so many occasions for
I've not
myself
went on.
if I haven't felt perfect.
I wouldn't have went on holidays.
Yeah.
I didn't go on holidays that were like beach holidays for years of my life. Like I just didn't go. I would have done like city breaks, but like I just did. I remember my last holiday would have been whenever I was about like family holiday, like 17, and then I didn't go on a beach holiday for years.
My really good friend
Jeez.
years
With
ago,
the idea of having to put on a bikini or swimming suit.
yeah, my really good friend was meant to be going to Dubai with somebody, and the girl dropped out at the last minute. She said, "Like, I know this is a massive ask. I have a free space on this trip to Dubai. I will pay for your flights. The hotel's already paid for. Please just come because I need company." And I was self-employed, freelance at the time, and I could have gone. It actually suited my diary, and I didn't go because I didn't have enough time to get bikini ready.
Isn't that
And I was
bananas?
26 and gorgeous.
I
And I
know.
look back and go, you silly bitch.
I know.
Free trip to Dubai with your
Yeah.
really good friend because what, you didn't think that you looked skinny enough.
Like, do you even
So
do you remember
sad.
we did the comedians boxing?
Yeah.
Well, when was I can't remember when that was, a few months. Was it this year, February or something? A few months ago. I was the only one wearing leggings. All the other girls wore actual boxing shorts. Like we were given like boxing clothes to wear. People were wearing
Yeah.
like the boxing tops, the boxing shorts. And I remember the anxiety I had running up to the boxing event, going like, I can't physically wear shorts in that ring. I'm not going to wear shorts. And I messaged the other girls, the comedians who were boxing, being like, does anybody else want to wear leggings? Because then I won't stand out. And one of the other comedians was like, I'll wear leggings. And I didn't explain why. I was just like, like, whatever, boys boxing shorts do, like trying to make it nothing. I was like, we'll wear leggings, will we? And then she didn't. She wore shorts at the time. And I remember going like, but we've agreed, and then she wore shorts and I was like, I'm going to fucking stand like a sore thumb. And I remember going like, nobody here realises that everyone has been thinking about the training, the fight, the boxing, and all I thought about was that I would be in a pair of shorts and photographed, and I was like, I can't, and I'm in normal gym leggings, and I look stupid. Everyone else looks like boxing, and I look like I've arrived to go to the gym.
I would never look and be like, why is she wearing leggings?
That's the thing as well.
That's
we do
why
put
I
ourselves at the centre of everybody's universes, don't we? Really? I swear to God, I sit and like post a story and then I go, should I delete that? Everyone's gonna think I'm a dick. No, just leave it up. Oh, the torture I'll put myself through for like a literal selfie on the bus. Yeah, I'm like, oh, what's everyone saying about me? No one's saying anything.
That TikTok trend, and it's like the story I hesitated to post versus the post that I posted in 2012.
I did it. Yeah.
You did do it.
We used to post with so much audacious confidence, and I love that.
I love it too.
Now we all just feel so.
I don't have like I've said all the time, if we're looking for like photos to post in stories, I don't have any throwback photos because I just didn't take photos.
Oh, but you recently found old YouTube videos of yourself.
Today, yeah.
Did you not find that quite like
emotional?
Quite nice to see where you are now versus the girl who you were?
That's the first thing like would be obvious to look at, is that I look different. So for anyone that hasn't seen, I was trying to log into our Girls Group Chat podcast YouTube, and upon doing this, it came up like a suggested account. And whenever I clicked on it, it was an old account from like 7 or 8 years ago. Now, all these videos were completely private. Like, I'd spent time editing them and posted them privately, just to myself. And I think the obvious change watching it is I look different. I've lost a lot of weight. But I can see a difference in my mindset.
Your whole aura is so different.
It's totally different, and it's mental. I was so lost, like completely lost. Even like I said about the way I was talking. Yes, I picked up a bit of an accent in school, but like that continued with me because I just didn't know who I was, and I was like, I didn't want to speak like myself because it wasn't comfortable in that person. So I was like taking on what people around me were acting like. Just nothing. I was just so lost. And then I was watching them, I was like, there was clearly a want in me to like be creative and make videos. The fact I've went to all this effort to do this. Yeah. And then I'm like, now I'm like happy to sit on TikTok with my nipples out and showing through my top and no makeup on, and it's mental. The
what do you think the main, because I know you've spoken on this podcast before about that huge weight loss journey that you went on, but you says the biggest change was that you worked on yourself so much mentally, because it, then to the point where you're like, it doesn't really actually matter what my body looks like now. It's I know I've done the work on my head. What is the work that you've done?
So my big thing is I was really bad for just like going out all the time for like quick fixes of happiness. Just if anyone wanted to go out, I was there. I was drinking, I was out, and like I think that's why I always looked like a really happy person, because it was always out and it was always drinking. And I did just like bite the bullet one day. I actually moved in with my granda, just my nanny was in hospital, and I love spending time with my family and like close friends. And I was finding, because I was in better moods from like spending time with people like that, I was treating myself better. I say this all the time. I lost weight because I was getting happier and vice versa. It wasn't just like, oh, I got happy because I got skinny.
You got skinny because you got happy.
Spending time with the right people and treating myself better. Like, don't get me wrong, still went out and got pissed now and then, but it just wasn't as
frequent,
abusive nearly as it was. Like using going out to get like a quick fix of happiness. I think
so like the village you had around you were such a good positive influence that reflected how you respected yourself and treated yourself in.
I love that. Because when you have people around you that are making you feel good, like, I mean, my family and close friends are only ever going to say good things to me. Yeah. So then, like, it's like what you hear is what you believe. And
that's the thing. It's like, how do we all? I have recently started, for the past 3 weeks, I've been doing affirmations 3 times a day.
Have you?
Yep. I'm experimenting with it, and I did like loads of research on it. I'm the sort of person who's like, if there's, if I want to see scientific research, I want to see like the reasoning behind something, like where are the studies that have shown that this thing works. And whilst there isn't any like scientific research that suggests that actually your future or things will change because of affirmations that you say, it does rewire your brain. Like the neuroplasticity, like it actually rewires your brain. Your brain changes how it fuses. So then what happens is like the placebo effect. You start to notice and see the opportunities and the situations that align with your new thought process. So you see the things that match up with that, you know, like we're going, oh, I deserve to have a job that I love. And if you tell yourself that every day, I have a job I love, I have it, or whatever it is, then you will start to see opportunities to maybe pursue the job you love easier because you've not put that mental block that that's something you don't deserve, that's something you don't have. You know, and I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm in the early stages of looking for the Euro Millions win, so we'll see. But every day, there's 3 different things that I do affirmations about, and I've been doing them 3 times a day. And apparently, you're supposed to say them out loud as well.
Oh, okay. Into the mirror.
Into the mirror out loud, because apparently just that adds another sense that's picking up on it and like hardwires your brain even better. And you know, I think even if it is that thing, like you're just hearing nice things out loud all the time. And
your brain starts to believe it. I think that is a psychologically tested thing. Yeah. That your brain starts to believe if it hears something enough. So like if you're constantly being bad about yourself. So say for example, whenever I was really down and completely hated myself, all I was ever thinking was, oh my God, I'm so ugly. Oh my God, no one's ever going to love me. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm actually just clean rotten, just hated himself. So then I'm just going to believe that more and more and more. Yeah, so then why would I ever want to care for myself or like give my body any sort of love? I'm just going to continue going out, drinking, eating shite. I'm never going to change. And it's like a vicious cycle, really, isn't it? It's a vicious cycle. You're going out with people that maybe aren't really your friends, and it's just maybe not treating each other the best. And it's just a vicious cycle. Yeah, it's breaking the cycle.
Have you ever tried anything holistic?
Yes, I had Reiki once.
Have you?
What is Reiki? So it's like a spiritual healing thing where they use, well, I think different people perform it differently, but they use like crystals and like hand movements and summon the archangels, and they cut your emotional cords and all this stuff. This was post the breakup I was talking about in the last episode.
I mean, fucking psychic queen here laughing at you.
I know.
I've actually got a funny one.
How's your ghost dog? I was in the absolute pits, and I was like, I'll try anything. So I went to Reiki, and I don't like. Everyone has their own different beliefs and whatever. I'm not into psychics and spiritual healing and all that sort of stuff. I'm not that gal, but I'll just go anyway. And I find it a very healing experience. Now, not necessarily because I think Reiki is a scientifically proven practice. Maybe it is, I don't know. But it was like a version of therapy. Yes. So I went, and the woman was like, and why are you here today? And she just, it was kind of like she was a therapist. I was like, I've had a breakup. I'm really, really upset. I don't know what else to do. Like, I mean, I couldn't describe how down I was. And she was an objective person who dedicated an hour to caring for me. Yeah. And
it's something you're doing for yourself.
Yes. And, you know, she was so lovely. She was in Ballyclare, and she was like, and I'm now cutting the cord of emotional tie to this man. I'm cutting this. And what, it was a huge emotional release. And I actually now love Reiki ASMR. I find it really relaxing.
Is that
it's
the ASMR?
It's one of the things I like. It's really, really relaxing watching and listening to other people getting it. Just hearing the like clicks and the hand movement and the crystals and stuff. Yeah,
I'm very therapeutic.
Do you not think in general though a big thing? You know, therapy's the obvious thing, but like you're saying about Reiki, a lot of improving your self-love and improving yourself, I think, is just like talking about things, giving time to things, because even silly things like taking a wee hour to sit and colour in a book, and it's just you and your thoughts, you're processing emotions there, which in a way is just giving yourself a bit of time.
Silent walks is one of the big things that you're supposed to do, is go a walk without music or
I always do that because I'm scared I'm going to get kidnapped.
Yes. But you should go a walk and listen to this podcast. Otherwise, go a walk without that. And then I think it's that thing of like going to a silent retreat where you're like left alone with your thoughts and you just don't know
fucked. No, but it makes you more aware of like why you're out for the walk, rather than just mindlessly scrolling or listening to something. Like actually engaging with nature and hearing the birds sing and breathing in the fresh air. Like there is something really, really nice about that. I do it when I'm walking the dog because well, unless I'm
you don't ignore
20 times a day, but 200 times a day. But no, I actually like telling her she's a good girl and letting her stop
Yeah.
to sniff things and throwing the
Yeah.
ball for her and stuff. It makes me feel like I've actually got something out of the walk rather than, oh, better go for a bloody walk.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
also,
find
I
walks
suppose
therapeutic.
if you're going to walk with your dog, like you want her to know that I'm with you on this. We're
Yes.
out together.
Aye.
It's you and me, Bumbles.
Yeah.
Against the world.
But you know, I went to a sound bath
Okay, I want to try this.
about less than a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. I can't remember. It wasn't that long ago. And that was an expensive nap. I remember. So obviously they like do like the bowls and the, it's like big bowls and they have like rub them and it's like sort of like sort of holistic sort of noises, which was fine for the first few minutes. You lie down on a mat, you put a wee blanket around you, get all snuggly in a wee dark room. There's 20 people there, whatever, and all the sounds are so lovely and relaxing. But then about 5 minutes in, the person taking it started going and I abruptly woke up and was all, why is this bitch in my nose?
That would tip me over the
I'd
edge.
have been crying laughing.
No, I remember just being like, is this a song? Are you freestyling? Like, what is this?
Is everything okay?
I remember just being like, how often is she going to do that? And then loads of times, randomly, she would just start going, and I'd be like, but because I was in my head going,
Are you in a bath like water?
no, you're right.
Everyone's in fucking.
Why is it called the
Dundonald
sound
swimming
bath?
pool.
Because you're immersed
You're
in
immersed
sound.
in sound.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
around you, like when you're in your bath, you're immersed in water.
Okay.
I couldn't relax
The room is the
knowing
bath.
there was the possibility. Like, just, okay, I'm relaxed.
Could they
I'm
not
relaxed,
have
and
just
then,
called
hold me on now.
She sounds like Shakira.
I know,
But I would have just said a sound room, like a sound room, like a sound bath. I'd be expecting like a seaweed bath, and then like someone sings to me.
someone's like
kinda like a
whispering
sound
a lovely sound in your ear. No, but I remember just thinking, like, will this become, like, will you do the same sounds again, or are you making them up as you go along?
100%. It was probably working you up and stressing you out more than what it was relaxing you.
Oh, I thought it was so funny. But I did sleep for most of that. And I was there with my sister-in-law afterwards. She was like, was your nap all right? And I was like, I am up doing night feeds 3 times a night. Yeah, my nap was great. Thanks very much. And I'd pay for it again because that's the only way I can have a nap now is if I pay someone to fucking let me have one.
Well, on that note, that beautiful singing note, which I appreciated so
Please.
much.
Tell us your like unhinged healing
Yeah.
rituals. Like, what is
Yeah.
something you've done or do?
Yeah. What have you tried? What would you actually recommend as well?
Yeah. I want to do Reiki now.
I want to go to a
try it
psychic.
I want to go to a psychic. I actually think, and you heard it here first, we should do a psychic reading episode for our Patreon.
Oh my god, get her on.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's do it.
The girl from where's
Portadown.
from Portadown?
We could get her to come to the Christmas show and get her to do psychic readings on people in the audience.
That would
We are not going to do
We're
that.
not
Still
gonna
buy
do
the
that.
tickets.
People getting refunds here.
People's like, fuck it.
But
People are
Diona
like,
will do a sound bath for you.
people are like, the bad shit I've done, I don't want to be outed on stage.
There's a woman doing the sound bath. There's a psychic, and then just us in the middle of it. That'd be class.
Psychic Sally and Shakira taken to the stage.
Yeah, we're gonna waltz now 2026, healed bitches, every last one of us at that show.
Oh, to healing. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll
Thank
catch you next
you.
time.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Stay.